The core of free agency is now finished. In this video, I give you my favorite free agency move by every NFL team. Signings, re-signings, and trades based on the need of the team, the fit of the player, and the value of the contract. Gronk, spike the like button, and let's go. The Arizona Cardinals re-signed Will Hernandez, a foundation for their new offense in Arizona. Hernandez is coming off his best season as a pro, and they're getting him at a pretty cheap contract with plenty of upside to spare. I believe the Cardinals need to revamp and retool the line of scrimmage, and Hernandez coming back certainly gives them a nice start. The Atlanta Falcons signed the top safety on the market, Jessie Bates. Jessie Bates is a playmaker in the back end, and Atlanta had to spend some money this offseason. So even though I think it might be a bit expensive, he's so unique in his range, his coverage ability, and his communication to get his secondary settled in the back end. This is a playmaker that Atlanta desperately needed on defense. The Baltimore Ravens re-signed safety Geno Stone, who is a leader on special teams and a very nice rotation safety who stepped up in his playing time in 2022. The Buffalo Bills somehow re-signed Jordan Poyer. Everyone thought he would leave, but having him back is why I'm so impressed. Jordan Poyer is one of the best safeties in the game, specifically in the box, as an instinctive coverage man and an awesome tackler. Jordan Poyer is one of the leaders of the Buffalo Bills. The Carolina Panthers signed Von Bell, arguably one of the most underrated safeties in all of football. They take him and steal him from the Cincinnati Bengals. A safety that can really do it all, a sure tackler, a great coverage man. He allows more versatility for Jeremy Chin and others in that Panthers secondary. The Chicago Bears signed Nate Davis, the guard from the Tennessee Titans. I really felt that the Bears' number one priority was addressing the offensive line in front of Justin Fields. With Nate Davis, they get an absolutely angry run blocker who fits their zone scheme perfectly. He's just entering his prime, and he can also help secure that pocket for their young quarterback. The Cincinnati Bengals signed left tackle. Yes, left tackle. He doesn't want to be known as a right tackle. Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown, jokes aside, is an awesome tackle to protect Joe Burrow. He is a mammoth of a man, and he is going to keep that pocket secure and give that extra second for Joe Burrow to find that deep ball to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and it doesn't hurt that you stole him from the Chiefs. The Cleveland Browns signed safety Juan Thornhill, another Kansas City Chief. Jim Schwartz coming to Cleveland. He really loves his safeties, especially instinctive, smart safeties who are very savvy in coverage, and that's exactly what Juan Thornhill is. His ability to be rangy in the back end, feel where a quarterback's going to throw the ball, break up passes, intercept passes, the ability to make big plays in big moments and play in big games. Cleveland got themselves the best safety and most consistent coverage player they've had at this position in a long time. The Dallas Cowboys traded for Stephon Gilmore. Yes, Gilly Lock is now a Dallas Cowboy. In my opinion, one of the greatest corners of his generation and possibly of all time. Stephon Gilmore will elevate everything about the Cowboys, from his ability to play man press coverage to his ability to lock up number one receivers and play in a tandem with Trayvon Diggs. Gilmore is going to elevate the play on the field. He's going to lead this secondary, and he's going to elevate the locker room with his intelligence and big game ability. The Denver Broncos signed Zach Allen. I love this fit for Zach Allen in Denver following his former defensive coordinator in Arizona, Vance Joseph. He just knows how to utilize Zach to his best ability, and Zach is just beginning to succeed at the NFL level. As a pass rusher, as a run defender, this guy can do it all. I actually think this is an upgrade from Draymond Jones, who left to the Seattle Seahawks. Zach Allen is just beginning to take over in the NFL, and he's going to thrive as a Bronco. The Detroit Lions signed safety, corner, hybrid, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And people are wondering, Mitch, what do you mean by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson having a ton of edge? Do you mean grittiness? No, not exactly. I mean that this guy gets in your face, he makes you angry, and he makes you not play as well because you're off your game. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is versatile, he is tough, he has the mentality that Detroit has been looking for, biting off kneecaps. The Green Bay Packers will be trading Aaron Rodgers. And this will be the best move they make all offseason, because it's time to let go. It's time to move on to a new era. Aaron Rodgers was a great football player. I believe he still is a very good quarterback. But it's time for Jordan Love to shine and just have a fresh reset for the franchise. Moving on is the right thing to do and the best thing the Packers can do. The Houston Texans signed Jimmy Ward. You need a player that can bring the intelligence, the familiarity, and the leadership that DeMeco Ryans needs in his new defense. Jimmy Ward is all of that and then some. This guy is versatile, he is tough, he can play strong, free, or nickel, and he's just an incredible football player. I've never seen the guy be out of sorts or out of position. It feels like wherever he plays, he shines. The Indianapolis Colts signed Gardner Minshew. Minshew is a great signing for a variety of reasons. He's a perfect bridge quarterback who's not really threatening to a younger, developing quarterback. He can mentor that player. He's great in the locker room, has a phenomenal personality, can lead a team because of that larger-than-life personality, and he deserves a chance. Just look at his touchdown to interception ratio, what he was able to do with some pretty bad Jacksonville teams. This guy's a better quarterback than people think. The Jacksonville Jags re-signing Andrew Wingard, safety, and core special teamer. Wingard is a great leader and actually really played well last year early in the season before he got injured as a rotation safety. Wingard has a great presence about him and brings an attitude that Jacksonville is trying to build upon in 2023 under Doug Peterson. The Kansas City Chiefs signed Charles Omenihu. Omenihu is in part a replacement to Frank Clark on the edge of their defense opposite George Karlaftis, but he's also a hybrid weapon for this defensive line. He can rush from the interior and be a pass rush specialist on that interior beside Chris Jones when games are in the fourth quarter and they need their defense to close it out. The Los Angeles Chargers re-signed Morgan Fox. I knew Morgan Fox was a great re-signing because Kyle Van Noy said so. Van Noy actually went out of his way to mention how important Morgan Fox is to the Chargers defensive line, and I wouldn't disagree with his ability to be a well-rounded defensive lineman who can rush the quarterback and also stop the run. Morgan Fox is one of those unsung heroes that is very valuable to Brandon Staley's scheme. The Los Angeles Rams re-signed center Coleman Shelton, who was actually a top 10 pass blocker last season at his position, according to PFF. The Rams need a steady offensive line, and Shelton can provide some depth on the interior of that line. The Las Vegas Raiders signed Jacoby Myers. Myers is a great signing for the Raiders. He is an awesome teammate. He is built from nothing, being an undrafted free agent quarterback, and now is a very good number 2 receiver who can get himself open in the middle of a defense from the slot position. He has familiarity with Josh McDaniels. McDaniels loves him. I'm sure Jimmy Garoppolo will get along with him, as he's the perfect type of receiver to open up the middle of the field and catch a ton of passes out of the slot for the Las Vegas Raiders. Miami Dolphins, they did a lot this offseason, but signing David Long was an absolute steal. They really did need a linebacker presence beside Jerome Baker, and especially within Vic Fangio's defense, where he loves him some linebackers. David Long was one of the best in the game last year at stopping the run, but he's also versatile and athletic enough to play in coverage. So I really like this signing. As long as he can stay healthy, I think this was a steal of a contract. The Minnesota Vikings signed Byron Murphy, and even though I did say that I don't love the fit for Murphy in Minnesota and Brian Flores' defense, I just love this player a lot, and this was by far the biggest need for the Vikings. Murphy is a very good nickel corner who can lock up receivers in the inside. He can also blitz, tackle very well, and he has incredible instincts. He can also bring an edge and some leadership to this secondary that desperately needs it. The New England Patriots signed Mike Gesicki and at the same time traded away Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith was a straight up disaster for the New England Patriots the last couple of years. They traded his cap away and basically replaced him with a much better receiver in Mike Gesicki, who can actually get open at the tight end position, run routes like a wide receiver, and he can moss people down the field and in the red zone. That's especially where Mac Jones and the Patriots could use it. Mike Gesicki is a very underrated weapon in this league. The New Orleans Saints signed Jamal Williams. I love this signing. I'm not a huge fan of just signing running backs out of free agency willy-nilly, but Jamal Williams with Alvin Kamara makes a ton of sense. They're total opposites. Jamal is a lot like a Mark Ingram a few years back, where he's a power running back who can catch the ball a little bit, but he's a great presence in the locker room, a great attitude, a great personality, a hype man, but he's also a specialist on the goal line and a power back that can get those tough yards to allow Alvin Kamara to play in more valuable situations. The New York Giants signed Bobby Okereke, and no matter how many different ways I try to pronounce his name, I love him that much more. He's a phenomenal linebacker who can cover, who can really stop the run, blow up run plays, sideline to sideline, and what the Giants were looking for is a guy with the speed, the athleticism, the range. That's exactly what they needed, and that's exactly what they got with Bobby. The New York Jets. They have yet to trade for Aaron Rodgers, so let's give you an alternative. Quincy Williams, re-signing with the team. Quincy Williams is such an underrated player. I don't care what his PFF grade is. I know that when I watch this guy, he's flying around, he's making plays, he's blowing up runs. This guy brings the speed to the New York Jets. People wonder, why is their defense so fast? All you gotta do is watch Quincy Williams. It's really that simple. The Philadelphia Eagles signed electric running back Rashad Penny. For as long as he stays healthy, Rashad Penny is going to be a nightmare for defenses to defend inside this offense. With that offensive line and his explosive speed, Rashad Penny is going to be a problem. I love his vision and his speed, and then you add a little bit of a hint of power that Miles Sanders did not have. This could be a massive steal. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed Isaac Seumalo, one of the best guards in all of football. He's going to come right in there to Pittsburgh and provide a steady force on the interior of their offensive line in the passing game to protect their young quarterback Kenny Pickett, to give him that extra moment of time. And then also the running game, which might have been even more important considering the Steelers just could not create anything on the ground last year, the year previous. It's been a while. Seumalo is one of the toughest, biggest grinders at guard, and his power can help Najee Harris on the ground. The San Francisco 49ers signed one of the best pass rushers on the interior defensive line in football. That is Javon Hargrave, who with Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, I mean, give me a break. This guy has ridiculous quickness for his size. His hands, his pop off the football, that ability to just get inside and beat an interior offensive lineman almost right off the snap immediately. It's going to provide another quick burst pass rusher for the 49ers front. This is just the most destructive nightmare front in all of football after signing this monster of a player. The Seattle Seahawks signed safety, nickel, hybrid Julian Love of the New York Giants. Love was a corner turned safety turned captain. This guy is awesome on and off the field. Off the field, he provides leadership. He provides a hard-working mentality. And on the field, he can give you versatility. He can play at the nickel position and cover slot receivers. He's a little bit smaller, but he's definitely twitchy and quick. And he has the physicality to play near the line of scrimmage as a safety or a corner. He's just an awesome fit for Seattle. A guy that really does have the body and the frame of an Earl Thomas, and I think can bring a lot of flavor to the back end of Seattle's defense with the versatility they now offer with all the different skill sets at safety. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-signed one of their own in Jamel Dean. I thought Jamel Dean was a goner for sure. I thought he would be gone from Tampa Bay, but he came back home, and that is huge for the Bucs. Now they have Dean, Winfield, and Carlton Davis secure in that secondary. Jamel Dean was the top corner on the market and came a little bit cheaper than expected. He's got the speed, the length, and the proven consistent track record of a top corner in this sport, and he's really only getting better. I love to see him back with the Bucs. The Tennessee Titans signed versatile offensive lineman Daniel Brunskill of the San Francisco 49ers. Not the biggest of signings, but this is going to be a starter and a steady one at that for Mike Vrabel's Titans. He can play tackle, center, or guard, and a team like the Titans that needs a lot of help on the offensive line will find a very steady veteran in Brunskill who's got great mobility, he's got very good feet, and he can open up some holes in the running game for Derrick Henry. The Washington Commanders signed Jacoby Brissett. Brissett is just immensely better than what they had at quarterback last year. And if they're not going to go with Sam Howell, I think Jacoby can really bring them some success. He had his best season of his career last year in Cleveland. He was, for most of the year, at least a top 20 quarterback. And he showcased his deep ball ability, his presence in the pocket, his toughness. He's a great guy. I just feel like Jacoby is the best quarterback they've had in a minute. That is my favorite free agency move by your favorite team so far this offseason and this free agency. Let me know yours in the comment section below, and let me know what you think of free agency so far. It's Mitch. Thanks so much for watching. Gronk, spike the like button, subscribe for more. Peace.